So it's just been over 4 months since we've started, so let's give you guys an update where things have been, and hopefully we've got some exciting news about a new premises coming soon. So as you know, 4 to 5 months ago, I was there on the train watching George shifting metal, and he mentioned about starting again and videoing the whole process. At the time, it was Christmas, and maybe had a few too many drinks, and I just went to myself, I have a very high pressure point in my current business, so I thought, why not start another business which is probably more stressful than my current one, and thought, what a great idea that sounds. How have the car sales gone? To be honest with you, the first 4 to 5 months have been absolutely great. We haven't had many problems, we've sold quite a few cars. Where my struggle has been is finding the stock and finding good quality stock, and what I've found is I've lowered my standards on stock just to get them in, and then spent more money in prepping them. And that's the issue that I've mainly had over the last 4 or 5 months, is the prepping costs. They have been huge on cars that, as I said from the start, the max are looking about £3,000 to £4,000. Nearly every car that we have bought, we've obviously PDI first, we've serviced it, any issues found in them have been done. After that, this price point, everything needs a cam belt. It's a grey area. Some dealerships send them out and kind of hope for the best. Others will say to a customer, do you want to do a 50-50 on it? Others do it. So far, I've done every one. It's a lot of money to be spending on cars, and not everybody does it. That's been a huge expense that I didn't anticipate, to be honest with you. Over the last 4 to 5 months, we've been averaging essentially between 5 and 7 cars a month. You could call it 6, but it's 5 to 7. So we are spending on average £1,000 a car, which on a car that's £3,000 to £5,000, mostly around the 3, is too much money. By the time you buy it in at the correct amount of money, prep it, and try and make a margin out of it, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. So we are looking at ways of bringing that prep down by doing it in-house, which we'll discuss again. So that's been my biggest ball ache at the moment, to be honest with you. I've had very little issues. That's going to change. I just had a good run at the moment. We all know that. So it's been a positive, and I've been quite surprised so far. So let's talk margins and growth and where we've been. Now, I got no shame in saying this, we've probably been making around £500 or £600 a car. Do I think that's enough? No. Is the business gonna grow at that rate? No. It needs to be making more money per car. Now, at a car that's again, to 4,000 max, you're not gonna be making £2,000 a car. It's just not gonna happen. But I would like to increase that level up, especially from the £500 mark. Now, we all know one way of increasing that profit is by bringing the prep down. Not happening, because it's just going to be more stress of dealing with more customers who are unhappy. It ain't happening. I got enough stress as it is. But we have got to get growth into the business. Every business needs to grow. So we have got to look at ways of increasing these margins. And let's show you one of the ways that I'm hoping to do this. Now, as some of you eagle-eyed viewers will know, this is the ramp that we had out of the third unit. Now, this 4-ton ramp, we added up in another unit up the road. It just simply wasn't being used up there as frequently as it needed because of its location. So what we decided to do was get rid of that ramp up in the third unit and then bring this down here. So what we are looking to do is get in a part-time mechanic to start preparing the cars. Hopefully that goes to full-time, because we need to get these costs down. Now, if I'm still selling 5 or 6 cars a month, and I want to increase that to probably the 10 mark, the mechanic will pay for himself. Simple as, because of the costs that we are spending in other garages. And it's not just the costs, it's also the time it takes them garages. They've got their own workload. I'll just ring up and say, we've got a car in. It can take 2 or 3 weeks sometimes. Most of the jobs I get back within the week, still, it's a pain. So what does it mean for the business going forward, and what are we going to look to do? The issues that we have had at the moment is stock and funds for stock. We are playing around with a sum of about 25-ish, and I'm probably having 7 or 8 cars out of that. By the time you have money, obviously, for cash flow, paying bills, paying mechanics. We are not getting enough cars through the door. That is an issue. Can't go down the stock funding route at the moment because the business is a baby, essentially, hasn't got many transactions or many transactions through months and months and months ago. Stock funding is not an option at the moment. Hopefully in a year's time it will be. So we've just got to naturally grow, which is absolutely no problem. It's not really a bad way of doing it anyway. So that is our biggest issue at the moment. We just can't get the cars through. It makes the foundations a lot stronger because you're not rushing. So there's two ways of looking at it really. So that's a rough kind of overview of what's been happening over the business the last 4 to 5 months. What's happening next. So it's been good, it's been positive. I'm really happy. What's coming up in the following videos? We have got 2 to 3 cars that we are picking up this week and I will bring you along with them. We've got a Citroen C2. I'll tell you a bit about that one now. That's a bit of probably a series of videos that we're going to do. And there's a transporter down in Kentway that we've got to pick up. I'm just trying to get a little bit more margin on a few of these cars. And there's a provisional on a Dacia Duster, I think, as well. So we'll have to go and pick up that. So on the C2, I've been asked by a local businessman to sell his BMW 325i, and I've fallen in love with it. And I don't want to sell it. So we've had a few people coming to see the car, but they've all, they're expecting a fully restored car, and it isn't. And I just fallen in love with it. But the issue I've got is, with the funds I've said to you I'm struggling with, I can't then put £5,000 into this baby, and I've less to play with. So have a look. This is the car in question. And she is a little beauty. And I have just fallen in love with her. She needs a good clean before you start whinging. But to be fair, she's really straight. There's only 2 panels that have been painted, and I'll try and show you that now. It's this back passenger quarter. I don't know if you pick it up on the camera. You can just see the peel is a little more, especially under this swage line here. And you can see, again, you probably won't pick it up on the camera, but here there's some prep marks in the paint. So basically what that means is when someone's gone to repair this panel, they haven't gone to a fine enough grit. So I can even see where they've blown in there. So this has had some work. And the driver's side front wing, again, you can see where there's a little bit of filler. Again, I shall try and show you on the camera. Again, there's marks there, you're probably not going to pick up, and you can just see sanding marks there. So, and I've just fallen in love with it. So, I've come back inside because I don't know how much the wind's playing up. So because I've fallen in so much in love with that, and I wish I hadn't, I've just got to have it. So the only way we can justify buying that is essentially buy and flip. Now I'm not going to do a series, you see people doing like Citroen to Lamborghini or whatever it is. I don't intend to do that. But what I am going to do is we've bought the C2 first from Newport, and we're just essentially going to buy and try and flip that money to £5,000. Hopefully do it in, I don't know, 3 or 4 trades, and then be able to buy that baby. So that is the plan. So on next week's video, you'll be coming with me up to Newport to buy the C2. It needs a repair to the wing, I think. We'll do that again on the video. And depending what happens with the Kent transporter, whether I'm gonna go and get it, it's 5 hours away, so I'm a little bit like nah at the moment about doing that, or whether I pay someone to bring it here. The issue I've got, I can't inspect it. So if there's any of you that want to earn some money to go to the garage and have a look over the transporter and willing to pay, I literally just want to know it starts, it runs okay, it sounds okay, there's no oil in the header tank, and there's no water the other way around, and I'll chuck you some money. I just want to make sure it seems okay. So that's the plan for next week's videos. I have done, there's probably 5 or 6 videos that I've got in the background that I haven't uploaded. I do apologise for the lack of content I've been putting up. I'll be completely blunt with you. I just haven't been happy with the videos. Every video I've done, I've just gone, that's crap. Is the editing's crap, the audio's crap. It doesn't, there's no point to the video. And I think that's just grown. People who upload videos will probably understand that. But this video is going up, it's going out. I will upload every Monday. That is a promise from me. And most of the videos are in the pipeline anyway. So we shall see how the C2 is. Try and get that baby out there. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Out of pen.